Hello, my friends, and welcome to Soul Channel, one of our very, very favorite features, Mystic Messages, where I, Teresa Warrenstaff, go into channel and answer the questions that you have sent us. Your questions about your evolution, intuition, energy, and just about anything else that you're curious about. We have our fabulous moderator, Heidi. Heidi, you want to say hi?
Hello, everyone. And I want to just reiterate Teresa stating that, your questions are important to us, and we spend a lot of time sorting and filtering and tracking. And so, not always do we get through all of the questions, but we keep everything on a sheet that we're going to go back and document. And so, we'll keep rolling those to the next week. We're trying to fit in everyone's questions, but sometimes there's just not enough time to get to everybody. So keep the questions coming.
Thank you, Heidi. That's absolutely right. As a matter of fact, that's why instead of doing Soul Channel in a couple of weeks, we decided we'd do two back to back. So, and if the questions continue to roll in, we'll continue to show up and support you. As always, this is for entertainment purposes, and any action taken is yours and yours alone. So let's get started, shall we?
Yes.
Thank you for being here. We are delighted to field your questions. And let's get started.
Wonderful. Thank you, Teresa, and thank you, guides. This time we had a lot of questions around how to grow our own personal intuition. And specifically around what does that look like and how do we trust our intuition? So the first question that's going to come is, how do we know, Teresa, that it's intuition and not our imagination?
That is first an excellent inquiry, because it delights us, it thrills us, it excites us to know that you are moving into your intuition. This is the field in which we play with you. This is the field in which we engage with you in multiple forms and ways. It is how we can share with you what is available and what we are manifesting together. And it is how we can give you wisdom about situations upon which you are curious. So, how to cultivate your intuition and trust it? Well, trust is a human limitation. Yes, that is the word. It is a human limitation. And we note that when one of our humans is in trust, their heart is open. There are no barriers, there are no stories, there are no alternative perspectives. They are simply heart opened and receiving without judgment or censure. So, if you want to stand in trust, open your heart. If you want to trust your intuition, is the message received with an open heart? Now, you may question after. We are talking in the moment of receiving the information. If you quiet your mind, see, hear, feel, or know, taste, or smell, which are used less, but certainly as effective for many of you, are you open-hearted? Do you have an ulterior motive? Are you looking for validation for a thought or belief that you already have? That is not intuition. Intuition comes from a place of neutrality and curiosity. Teresa has spoken of this. We gave her this information many months ago. She has shared this with you. Patience is also necessary because it may take time for the message to anchor. What does that mean? That means that the situation is not optimal for the optimal answer. So one must be patient as the individual asking the question comes into a place where they can hear, what most wants to be expressed to you, what information is most optimal for you. Sometimes it is simply a matter of introducing a new concept, introducing a new energy system, introducing a new energy code, or overhearing a conversation that allows you to move into this place where you are open to hear the answer, which is most essential for your evolution. So, to cultivate trust, one must be curious and neutral and exercise patience. In addition, we go back to the beginning and state we are absolutely so thrilled, so happy, so joyous that you are moving into your intuition. How does it occur for you? And play with it. Have fun. Don't be serious, because seriousness limits. Playfulness expands, opens, and allows what you need, or what is essential. There is no need. What is essential to receive. Open, allow, so you may receive that which wants to be known. That is much more than you ask, but is that enough information to address the question?
Yes, thank you. And, you know, following all of that information, I think this next question ties in nicely is, how do we tell the difference between feeling and knowing?
That is an excellent question, because it is very nuanced. And in many of you, the feeling knowing plays a hand in glove relationship. So you receive knowing, it enters your body, and it becomes a feeling of affirmation that the information you received is accurate for the question, the situation, or what wants to be known. So as you move into knowing, it is supported. The feelings can also be a catalyst for the knowing. You stop, you're in meditation, you're in quiet, you're in neutral, curious place. Yes. And you open to receive information. It comes to you in the form of a feeling. And that feeling catalyzes the second intuitive gift, knowing or seeing or hearing. The human intuitive gifts are not singular. They often play with each other. They often will dance in how you can receive information in the moment. Humans do not simply remain open all the time. Often they cultivate this open, receptive state by moving into meditation, or the athlete going for the run, or the artist standing in front of the canvas or the clay. So your intuitive gifts play with each other and support each other. It is our way of saying, hello, hello, are you listening? Hello, we have a message for you. We sent you a bird. Now we'll send you a feeling. And now we'll send you a sight or a message for your hearing or a knowing. They all play together. Which are the ones you want to play in? Which are stronger for you? And step into trust that when you receive information through multiple intuitive senses, it is accurate for that moment. Thank you.
Such great information, Teresa. The next question, and I think, again, this relates back to the feeling and the knowing as we're developing our own spiritual growth. Can you please tell us how that all works within the ascension stairway?
The ascension stairway is a human label for the evolution of the human species. It is a way to contextualize the human evolution into the higher dimensions, and that is that the body can be in the fifth dimension, and that is not a physical place. They are still on the earth, but they are vibrating at a rate that allows them to expand their knowing and be in peace and love as a natural state. In the beginning of this ascension stairway, as you have stated, there will be the up and down bouncing, back down to 3D, back up to 5D, until eventually it becomes less of a cadence. How intuition influences is you know, you see, you hear, you trust that that conflict is not for you, that that belief system no longer serves you, that that behavior pattern does not align, that that boundary serves to define what is optimal for your human expression as a soul on the planet. It also diminishes the space. There's no actual space, but the connection between the human and the soul. It is the human embodying greater levels of the soul. And with this comes unlimited sources of wisdom, which are received through the intuition. So, as you evolve, move up the stairway, you bring greater levels of your soul into your human existence. You affirm this through your intuition, which is the optimal place to express your energy into the world. Your intuition will tell you, yes, I wish to express love into this situation. Love will neutralize and optimize. Yes, I wish to express joy into this situation to elevate and open this situation. I wish to express peace. And so it goes on and on and on. The more you embody your soul, the more your soul is able to support the human decisions. And we do want to state very clearly at this point, at no time will the soul override free will of the human. This is a human existence. The human will always have choice. If the human moves into living in 5D the majority of their life, and then decides, I'm going to try a 3D existence again, and drops their energy level back down, that is their choice. It is honored. Thank you.
Teresa, you mentioned boundaries, and we got a lot of questions around boundaries and statements that, there's a lot of spiritual teachers that talk about boundaries. So, can you help us better understand the tie in between boundaries and spirituality?
Yes, we would like that very much because it is a very important subject. Your therapist and psychologists talk much about the boundaries that you place in your life to keep yourself whole and healthy, to invite into your life that which supports the evolution of the human and who you want to be, correct? It is the human evolution. There's also spiritual boundaries. And these are often in place to support the human stepping into their purpose, fulfilling their purpose. So their boundary may be on an energetic level that they are not drawn to the desert, for the desert does not hold the things that will allow them to fulfill their purpose. They are drawn to the oceans. It may be they are not drawn to a specific type of person or group of people because those people have no need for the purpose, fulfillment of the purpose, the gifts that they have to share. So boundaries occur on the human plane as our interaction with other humans in relationship, and that we do not want to understate is vital for the health and well-being of the human. So we do encourage you to identify your boundaries, and often these boundaries are defined by the values and the vision and the purpose that human knows it is here to fulfill. So what are your values? They will define your boundaries. What is your vision? What is your purpose? They will help to define your boundaries. There's also the energetic. What are you here on this planet to vibrate? To be? Is it optimal to work with this energy or that energy or this? It includes beings and support teams that will come into your life. For example, if you are about scientific or pragmatic or operational pursuits as your purpose on this planet, you will engage with the beings who have these skills. these aptitudes. These beings will come in to influence. And that becomes a boundary. There's no need to invite the warriors, for they do not have what you need. So boundaries are nuanced and multi-level, and we encourage everyone to clearly understand first, what are their human boundaries? And then secondly, know that the soul will work with them to set the energy boundaries. Does that serve?
Yes, Teresa. And you mentioned our vibration. And some of the questions that came out recently have been tied to our energy bubbles or our eggs. Can you give us some more insight into what those are and how we can work with that energy bubble?
Yes. And it is something that Teresa speaks on often and is passionate about, because you all learn about your physical systems, your blood, your organs, and yet there's not enough knowledge and knowing about the energy systems. There are many belief groups, religious sects that have taught about some of them, and there's wisdom in there. And we encourage you to mine that, such as the chakra systems. There are energy systems, and all of this is contained within. Hold on, somebody else wants to speak on this. Thank you for giving me the stage, for this is my area of expertise. The energy systems for the human existence were very purposefully designed and have evolved around a very specific path to ensure that at any and all times, the human can determine what their vibration is and how they wish to be in their energy. The bubble, the egg, and all the other names that you have given to this boundary. So interesting that it follows the last question. This is synonymous with your skin. It is the boundary between the energy systems within your personal system, and that is without. So just as your skin differentiates those personal systems and the environment, so too does your bubble. And there are many common challenges that humans face in managing their bubble. Tears, rips, fading, removal. And yet, with working with your guides, they can all be repaired. Sometimes it is not necessary to know why the situation occurred. More often, it is. More often, it is important to understand why this vital energy bubble, this vital energy boundary has been breached. What egregious harm has befallen you? What has happened that has created a tear? And if one parallels again to the human physical body, what caused that cut? And what are you leaking? What caused that tear? And why is that bubble fading and thin and unhealthy? The reasons are unique, individual, and many, 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 many. There are a multitude. It could be circumstantial. You've run into a situation or a being or an energy that has hurt you, that has stabbed and wounded something within you. Succor and love and nurture that place so that it heals. Create the boundary so that it does not repeat. It could be that there is an unhealthy place and the bubble is fading or thinned. What repetitive behavior has occurred that has resulted in the thinning of your bubble? And in the most egregious, where you have torn your bubble very, very largely, what event has come into your life that has literally blown up an area of your bubble? Is it at the feet? Is your foundation rocked? Is it off to the left, where the divine feminine within the human systems exists? And has that been threatened or breached? Or the divine masculine, has someone exercised control and tried to manipulate you through force? Or, as we move to the crown, if there is a breach in the bubble at the crown, has your mind been blown? And have you experienced something so horrible that it makes no sense to you? And how can you reconcile this? This is where those adept at working with energy systems, those adept at identifying breaches, wounds, fading, or other maladies, can come in and help heal. And this healing occurs across multiple places, such as within sound, the sound healers. Then there's those who are adept at working in the energetic realms, and they will do energy surgery or energy repairs. And those can be shamans or other beings. Then there's those who are more talk and energy oriented. They bridge the worlds of 3D, 7, 8, 7 to 11D, so that they can bring the energies necessary from the higher dimensions into the physical body and assist in the reparation of that wound. So, our bubble, the human bubble, is an important feature of your energy systems, and in fact, the first line of defense. So, setting the intention to anchor and strengthen and repair and heal your energy bubble daily is essential. And we would encourage those who work with energy to do it more often. Just check in. Ask one of your guides, please, will you be my assistant in ensuring my energy bubble maintains integrity? They will help. They will never override anything that you've invited in. They cannot oversee, they cannot move beyond your free will choices, but they will oversee. And that is simply one system. And there are many in your energy bubble. Will that answer suffice at this time?
Yes, Teresa. And I think one more deeper level into that is we've got some questions around disease or dis-ease of the body. And the guides mentioned, the incredible healing power within our bubble. So can you help us better understand how we might be able to utilize that energy within our bubble to heal our physical bodies?
Yes, we can. And this is a nuanced and individual. We feel the energy behind the question, and we offer that this individual seek out guidance from an energy healer that they trust and respect using their intuition to pursue more information and support. Generally speaking, dis-ease occurs in one of the other bodies before it moves into the physical. Again, good reason to ensure that you are balancing all of your energy systems, spiritual, mental, emotional, and the energy of the physical body. Because you have your physical, but you also have the energy of the physical. So again, working with your guides to ask, where do I have the potential for misalignment? Or where are there misaligned energies within my fields? And which energy system does it exist in? Moving into knowing you have an emotional block or an emotional wound and seeking support to heal that wound. Knowing there's a thought construct that holds you in a limited pattern and becoming curious about what other information wants to be known about this limited thought. Understanding there is a spiritual, nuanced relationship that you are ignoring or turning away from, and instead turning to and embracing. All of these situations, specifically turning to the energy, require a level of courage to move through the fear. And the optimal way to do this, as we spoke about the bubble, find that group, the person, the people who support your being the greatest expression of yourself and moving through healing. Be willing to be vulnerable, open. Allow new information in and receive it. Feel how it feels in your body. Will it address that emotional wound? Will it change that mental construct? Being on the evolutionary path requires consistent attention to all of the bodies to avoid moving into a dis-ease state. Now, if it moves into the physical body and you have resulted in a dis-ease, seek a physician, someone who specializes, and trust your knowing to identify the path that is optimal for your healing. There's nothing wrong with your physicians. They are doing the best they can with the limited tools that they work with. And supplement with the energy tools. If you want to heal something, heal it at all levels. Bring in as much information, emotional support, energy, wisdom, knowledge as you can find. And know that with your intuition, you know the optimal path for you, for it will be different than anyone else. This moves us back to trust. Trusting that you know best for self. And we want to state that the human, this is challenging. We understand. We do not diminish the challenge that happens on the human evolution. And we thank you because every time you lean deeper into trust, into your intuition, and take action on what you know to be true and right for you, you vibrate that into the world. And all of a sudden, others can pattern to that way of being. So trust that your micro focus is on the self evolution. The support team comes in, and as you shift and grow and evolve, you move into your purpose, you live fulfilled, you then radiate that into the world, giving implicit permission for others to step into what you have learned in their own way. That is a very broad, detailed answer to the question. Will that suffice?
Yes, very much so. And I think that gives us some insight on how all of those energy levels are interrelated.
Good.
So, Teresa, we've talked about boundaries and our bubbles. And now questions that we have are focused around our own vortex and specifically around what the guides told us about trusting and our self-evolution. But with this vortex, we've learned from spiritual leaders and teachers that say, put your desires into your vortex and then go with the flow. And part of our human challenge is going with the flow and not getting so obsessed with what we don't have, but truly appreciating what we have put in the vortex so that we can continue our evolution with trust and knowing. Can you give us some insight on that?
So the counsel to put intention into the personal vortex and radiate it out is wise and appropriate. It is how we communicate our desires to the world. We bring the energy into our systems, and the world reflects back that which is optimal as a response to that inquiry. And it is optimal to stay curious, because often that which you've asked for is part of the equation. So stepping into the dance back and forth of receiving information, choosing what of that information is optimal for you, and then sending out more signals for that which you wish to create. This is the dance of manifestation. This is the dance of creation. And at the human level, reconciling what shows up for us with what we believe we should do is the nuance of living into fulfillment and purpose, aligned with living the life in the structure the humans have designed. This is where free will is key, for one cannot ignore one for the other. They must be symbiotic. And as you say, in the human world, one must pay the bills, one must take care of the things, one must do the work. And the more that you move into the energy of your purpose and aligned being, the less influence the must-haves, must-dos will have on the human existence. The simple explanation that is easy to grasp is, if you know you must do something and money is standing in the way, if you choose that something, and the universe will support you by bringing the money in so that you can continue on your evolutionary path. Everything, including the human constructs of work, living, things, is energy. Everything is energy. And at any time, as one becomes adept, one can call in the energy of what one needs. And we do not recommend any bold, audacious steps saying the universe will catch me, the universe will take care of me. No, 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 that does not work. Self-responsibility on your evolutionary path is essential. You cannot ignore the responsibilities you have created for your evolution. You cannot ignore the job that you do not like. If you do not like your job, then you simply accept what you do not like, choose what you do like, unhook from that which you do not like. Do not be triggered by it anymore. Release it so that you can embrace the new job. When we resist and dislike and push away, we are actually pushing energy into that system, and it will persist. whether it be in relationship or job or family. We, as humans, take responsibility for that which we want to create and open ourselves to receive it with neutrality, curiosity, and openness, and allow that which no longer serves to be released. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you, Teresa. And so much clarity around that opposing energy that I think so many of us struggle with, of allowing and stepping aside so that we don't create the resistance.
Yes, that is important because resistance is energy. And you are feeding inner energy into that which you are resisting. Release the trigger. Release the energy. Focus the energy in the direction you want to go. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, we are nearing the end of our session here. And Teresa, we all want to extend our gratitude and gratefulness to you, to the guides that participated today, and for all of the wonderful information that I think all of us become wiser as we all work on our own personal spirituality.
We are absolutely delighted and filled with joy to be able to have these conversations. It encourages us and delights us and contributes to the overall evolution of all humans on the planet towards love and peace. And that is truly an honorable pursuit. Thank you, and with love.
Really magical, Teresa. Wow. I think these sessions continue to just get better and better and better every single time. So there's probably people out there that want to know, how can we best connect with you?
Thank you for asking, Heidi. And thank you for being our moderator. You just keep the energy flowing. And today was so much fun for me. I can't wait to watch the recording and hear what came through. But it felt amazing and it felt essential, especially with that energy change. There was someone who really wanted to be heard and really had messages. And what I know is, yes, thank you. I'm getting a confirmation on this. What I know is that there were specific energy codes that came in through that information that our audience has the opportunity to choose to bring into their energy bubble, into their fields for their own evolution. So thank you. I'm always interested in supporting your evolution. I'm finishing a private group free class that I'll be offering again in December, on December 7th and 14th. This is called Create Clarity, Harness Your Intuition. And it is 2 90-minute sessions where we talk about intuition, how to bring it in more strongly, and how to live from that place. And then we do an experiential. So for those who attend, and again, it's free, this is my my gift to you, is we'll also talk a lot so that you'll hear other people's experience with their intuition. And as a bonus, the people who attend this class will be offered a bundle of 3 workshops for a ridiculously low price of $99 that will help them with their energy, clearing the energy, setting the energy, and exercising free will on what you want in or out of your energy systems. And everything can be found on my website, teresawarrenstaff.com, specifically about the live classes that will be starting again in January and in February. So there's lots going on. And of course, Soul Channel will continue to roll out with new events. We have a live on Friday and so many things happening. And I'm grateful that I get to do this work and bring this information to all of you. I couldn't ask for anything more. Well, just to be able to do it more.
Well, and Teresa, the timing of all of this we all start doing some reflection at year end and then setting those intentions for the upcoming new year. And we know most of us have been feeling this huge energy shift that's been ongoing. And I feel like for myself, it's been intensifying. So I think the fact that you're offering this free class for everyone to really get grounded before we actually step foot into the new year, the timing's incredible. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I agree. The energies are building. The consciousness around the planet is evolving at such a rapid rate because of all the things that we're doing like we are today. And if you don't set an intention, if you don't say what you want, if you don't communicate that to the universe, life falls into a default pattern. And often our default patterns keep us where we're at. They don't take us where we want to go. So do set your intentions and be purposeful about where you put your energy. Thank you. Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you. Blessings, everyone.
We'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.